Aren't there times when you want to talk about everything? Sometimes talking about anything is very therapeutic. And don't forget about talking about, well, nothing. Sometimes it's about just listening to what others have to say. Please join me for my podcast, Yada Yada Yada, a chat about everything, anything, and nothing. It's a great way of knowing about what's not coming next. Hello, all. Welcome. So nice to have you back. This is Yada Yada Yada, a podcast about everything, anything, and nothing. So I was contemplating what topic should I discuss, and usually it's what's on the top of my head, anything I could think of that I think would be of value or that you guys might just want to hear about, or I don't know, maybe some of you like to hear me rant and just go on and on and on. Hence the yada, yada, yada. My son had come home the other day. We were talking, and within the text of the conversation, there were these words that he was using that I felt had some kind of hidden meaning. Now, he is 24 years old. I am fairly used to, having conversations with him where some of the lingo or the slang is not the same as ours, which was pretty much the same with us when we were kids and we would talk to our parents. We just didn't realize that it was our, teen slang. So I'm trying to decode his verbiage, and it started making me think, wouldn't that be a funny thing to talk about today? So here I am decoding teen slang. We need to gather together, one and all, parents of teens and young adults, because believe it or not, my son is a young adult that still uses this slang. However, he knows not to use it in his profession. It's just among friends. So I'm thinking, OMG, I went to this dope concert. It was lit. TBH, I had a super awesome time. I hope the people I met will slide into my DMs. I sound like an idiot talking like this. And to my son and other millennials, or I would say Generation Z, which is really when my son was born. I think it was after 1995 or in 1996. So he's kind of the end of a millennial, beginning of Generation Z. I just think it's really funny trying to decode some of this. And I said, I'm going to try my hand at this. And I obviously did not sound, I sounded ridiculous. And he would kill me if I spoke like that to his friends. Absolutely kill me. Because not only do I sound silly, but I sound like I'm struggling with what I'm trying to say. So let me decode. OMG, obviously, you know what that means. I went to this dope. Dope is like awesome, amazing concert. It was lit. I'm thinking that lit is kind of like on the same arena as dope. Like it was awesome. TBH, I had a super awesome time. TBH is to be honest. I hope the people I met will slide into my DMs. So if you have, let's say, Instagram, sliding in would mean somebody actually is sending you a private message or a direct message. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I am taking a bow, a virtual bow. So I'm going to be your one-stop shop for teen slang. I'm going to be your guide. I just think it's pretty funny because some of the words that they use are not even close to what we used to use. I mean, we would never say slide into DMs. I mean, we said words like awesome, that's so amazing. And we also kind of talk that way, like Valley Girls. So let's get into some of these acronyms and what I like to consider code words so that our generation cannot figure out what they're saying. But lest not forget, I did work in a middle school and in a high school, so I was always privy to the language. So when my son and I would discuss things when he was younger, I completely understood what he was saying, but I had to act, like I had no idea what he was saying. So this is a tricky language, it seems, more so than in my generation. I was born in 1969, so it's really really not the same. All right, so this is what I've got. Bruh. Well, we know that that's bro, but why can't people just say bro? Bruh. Sounds like you're riding a wave in California in the ocean. Okay, we know this one. Fam, the closest friends, family. Goat, greatest of all time. Now, I'm hearing goat a lot. I'm hearing it very often, especially like on shows that I love watching, such as Jeopardy, greatest of all time, contestants competing against one another. But I've been hearing it a lot. All right, so like I said, TBH, to be honest, it's lit. Short for it's cool or awesome. Now, this one's funny. I'm weak. Short for that was funny. I'm weak is short for that was funny. Like as if to say that they're laughing so much that it's killing them. I'm weak. Ha ha ha. That was so funny. Okay, well, guess that's one way of looking at it. All right. Hundo P, short for 100% sure or certain. Okay. Gucci. I love this one. Something is good or cool. Gucci. Oh, I love this one. FOMO. FOMO. Fear of missing out. I'm trying to think of what lingo I would use when I was younger. You're going to miss out? You'll be sorry? I wouldn't use a word like FOMO. Oh my God. I could just see what this world is coming to. The land of abbreviations and or acronyms, I should say. Everything is going to turn into an acronym where you have to take a few extra seconds to figure out what someone just said to you in a sentence. Kind of like now how when people are texting, they text with a ton of emojis. Well, it's already getting bad. I mean, sometimes I'll get a text from someone instead of just answering me, and it'll be like a hot sun, a lightning bolt, and someone's like letting me know that they're having a hot flash. And all I'm thinking is they're hot and it's outside and it's about to thunder and lightning. Okay. Squad. Okay. Yes. Squad to me is like what a clique was for us when we were younger. If you're above the age of 40 and listening to this. Squad. Term for their friend group. Okay. I don't mind that one. I actually like that one. I remember the kids in high school were using that one. All right, so we all know what bae is, short for baby. It's used as a term of endearment or for a significant other. Oh my God. Can you see me introducing my husband as my bae? Oh, hi. It's nice to meet you. This is my bae, Jeff. Actually, pretty funny. All right, if you're going to reject someone on a romantic level, that means curve. Well, how do you use that in a sentence? I'm going to curve you. I'm going to curve him tonight. I'm going to throw him to the curve. God, this is hard. Skirt, to go away or leave. Isn't that more like scoot? Scoot, go away. Instead, I'm noticing a trend. I'm seeing that some of these words, some just so far, are so similar to the words that we used to use. See, they're stealing our stuff. They're stealing our sauce. They're taking what we made amazing and just changing it up a little bit, which proves, like what I said in my previous episode, my previous podcast, that we are the best of the best because we grew up in the 80s. And everything that's done today, I am telling you, is just a copy of what we've done. All right. Now I've heard this one, low key. A warning that when they're saying isn't something they want everyone to know. So, like on the down low, I mean like keep it hush hush, keep it between us. So now it's been revised to low key. Oh, I like this one. Salty. That I don't even think requires an explanation, but it's to be bitter about something or someone. And I've heard that being used in sentences before. So salty. I've even heard so sassy. I haven't heard sassy in a long time. All right, let's see. Okay, I know this one too. Ghost. If you ghosted somebody. Oh, I know someone that's done that to me several times. The same person, in fact, who will not be mentioned, but you know who you are. Ha ha ha. And this person ghosted me to ignore someone on purpose. What a horrible thing to do. It's so infantile. What did we do? Ignore? Ignore someone. We didn't have another word. We didn't use ghost. All right, let's see what else. Sip tea. I've heard this one too. Sip tea or just using the word tea. That there's like so many different varieties of tea. So there's so many different varieties. Well, that doesn't actually work. It says sip tea to mind your own business. Then how do you say that to someone? Go sip your own tea? What happened to go mind your own business? It's just got a few extra words. All right, let's see what else. Straight fire, something that is hot or trendy. I like that. Straight fire. I do like that. And this one I like too, but I wouldn't say it, nor would I do it. Throwing shade. To give someone a nasty look or say something unpleasant about them. Oh boy. Well, if you're saying something unpleasant about them, that must mean you're talking behind their back, which is mean and not something that anyone should do, but throw shade. All right, let's look at this. Now, I've heard of some of these too. Let's see if I can come up with my own verbiage from when I was younger or something else I would say. I don't know if you're supposed to say it like this or if you're supposed to spell it out. Okay, so thick, but thick with two C's, not a CK. Looking good in your skin no matter your shape or size. Okay, why are these kids using the word thick? I, th- that's like the worst kind of slang. I would completely get rid of that word. How about, you look great, you're looking fine, you look amazing. All right. How about let's do let me on read? Let me on read. When you're on Snapchat and someone looks at your snap and they don't snap back. Left me on read. How about ignored me or blew me off? Eesh. All right, let's go to turnt up. TURNT up. The act of getting drunk to the highest degree. They're turned up. Okay. So I guess you need a specific description on how to say that you're drunk and high instead of I'm drunk or I'm high. I'm turned up. What would I have said? Well, I was never like that. I never drank a lot. I have no idea. I would just say I'm drunk. I'm messed up. I remember that. I messed up or I'm effed up. Yeah. All right. Finna, F for Frank, INNA, finna. When you are going to do something, I'm going to finna. I'm going to do something. Nope, can't figure out a word for that. Okay, bougie. Oh, that was in that song. Ratchet. Okay, rich or acting rich. Bougie. I actually like that word. Um, instead of I think I would have used wannabe instead of bougie, but I actually like the sound of bougie, but I don't know. Okay, so what else? We've got heard. A deep understanding of a topic being discussed. Well, okay, I heard you. How about I understand instead of I heard you? Oh, I don't know. All right. OG, we know what that means. Original gangsta. And I've actually used that word and I was probably looked at very strangely. I've lived in my neighborhood uh, since all of our homes were built. So I might say to some new neighbors, "Oh, you're welcome. How long have you lived here?" And I would say, "Oh, I'm the OG." Okay. Swole, extremely buff or physically fit. So I guess the days of, wow, you look muscular or you're big or uh, is those days are gone. It's now swole. Oh, I've heard this one. Yeet. A very strong word for yes. Okay, can't you just say yes, not yeet? I don't know if I like that one. All right. Fire. Something is really good or cool. So I've heard my son say, "Hey, how was work today? Son? Oh, it was on fire." Okay. AF. All right. I know you know what this one is. It means as FUCK. So I think that means like it was awesome AF. How was your bowling night? Oh, it was awesome AF. They both have the same amount of syllables when you say it. So, I mean, why do you have to abbreviate it? Can't you just say the two words? Ugh, all right. Basic. Use is a non complimentary way to say something I'm sorry, to say someone is only interested in trendy or popular things. Basic. Wow, that's a tough one. Non complimentary way to say someone is only interested in trendy, popular things. Basic sounds so basic. Why wouldn't that be like on point or fashionable or a trendy person? All right. Dank is something really good. I understand that. I mean, I've heard that word before. Oh, it's dank. So why can't you just say like, "Oh, it was really great"? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about all of these abbreviations and acronyms. Huh. Makes you think about the English language. If you think about it, we were brought up with probably one of the best English systems in the world, although learning English is very difficult for many. Um, and I understand that the reason for doing this is because, it's just a thing to do, but I don't know, it confuses me sometimes instead of like using real words. And what about those kids that are getting jobs? I mean, sometimes they don't differentiate using the right words versus using these types of, slang or lingo. Let's try and do a sentence. Let's see. TBH, I met the goat of spelling bees the other day. It was lit And then this comedian came out. He was so funny. I'm weak. Me and the fam went, and it was Gucci. I was so FOMO that me and my squad. Oh, that didn't make sense. I was a hold on. I was afraid that my squad would be FOMO, but it turned out to be on fire. Anyway, savage, which means the cool way to say cool. Okay, it was savage. Oh my God, I sound so ridiculous. Well, anyway, I had a good time doing this. I want to also tell you, I'm using this website that's called netsanity.net, where I'm looking at all of these different words. Thirsty, being desperate for something. Down in the DM. Oh no, I'm not going to say what that is. Um, okay, so it looks like these are all rated R slang kind of teenage terms, which I'm not going to repeat. But you might want to go onto this website and see some of them in the event that your children are using them. And then I was also looking at these different trends, these different social media trends, as far as like Snapchat and Instagram are like the most popular among teenagers. It says here that the unique issue with Snapchat is that photos are shared and then they disappear pretty quickly, which I think is very similar to Instagram stories as well. But what's cool about that, they say here, is it could give teenagers a boost of confidence to post a photo they might not do otherwise because the recipients only see it for a short period of time, and that's it. Let's see. Confession sites, they say here, include Post Secret, Secret, and Whisper. And that is where users anonymously post secrets and confessions. Wow. Okay, I can see that not being a very good thing. Then we have Kick. A lot of you know about that, a free messenger app. I think that my next episode, I might talk about all of these bad sites and apps. So, those of you parents who are looking at your children's phones might have a better idea as to which ones to look for that might be a warning flag. This is cute. Badu, Common Sense Media. Oh, it's an adults only dating app? Doesn't monitor the content. No, no, no. Forget that one. This is cool too. Entrepreneur talks about the popularity of digital hangouts by way of TikTok. That's pretty cool. Well, this internet slang is definitely something that many new parents are going to have to start getting used to because it is used so much. Not only does it start in middle school, but it does continue throughout high school. And I have proof that it continues past high school and even past college because my son is 24 and still speaks like that. But like I said, he doesn't speak like that when he's working. So, anyway, there's also some hashtags that we should know about, which is pretty cool. But I won't get into that now. Like what I would suggest is if many of you haven't heard of it, it's called Urban Dictionary. I've known about this a long time. If there's a word you just simply don't understand, you can go on to Urban Dictionary and type in the word, and it will tell you what the slang meaning of it is. I don't know if they have an app, but I do know you can go on to urbandictionary.com and look that up. And there's also something called Google Alerts, which lets you set news alerts for a term of your choice. Huh. Every day you'll receive an email with news items relating to that term. It says here, for example, you could set a social media alert and get a list of articles about the latest social media updates without doing weekly searches for what you might be missing out about new apps and sites. Hmm. With new technology and all the wonderful, wonderful things that it includes, there's also a lot of really bad things. And many parents do need to, keep their eyes and ears open, about certain black markets that are on the internet or the underground markets that are very, very dangerous. It's just with technology has added quite a few really bad sites. So, with that said, I am going to bid adieu. I hope you like this podcast. I just kept it real today. And I hope that you have an amazing and wonderful Thursday, Friday, and wonderful weekend. Goodbye.